What is good, everybody? Welcome back to the Download Queue, episode 44, palindrome of some sort with two. It's November 17th, 2024. We're getting closer to the end of the year. As always, the Blight killer himself, Kyle Fish, is back.
The blight? Is that what you said?
The Blight killer, my guy, the Dragon Age.
I think I thought you said light, and that threw me off. And
Oh,
then
I mean,
when I figured it out. Yes, been playing a lot of Dragon Age. Was just playing some.
streaming, doing good. I think I finally just about caught up to you almost after I've just like no
Whoa.
life the past couple days.
I was gonna say that's crazy. You were far behind.
Yeah, like what you just did on stream, spoilers if people watching, is like just what I'm about to do actually. Like I got the quest for it this morning. So,
But yeah, you caught up in the last 2 days. It's crazy.
you
It's
know,
good though.
when you don't have a life, you got a ton of time for games. Not all of them, but a ton.
Yeah, just some.
I also jumped into the Warzone this morning. Oh
Yes,
boy,
we have not.
not for me.
We just got to get in together for a couple rounds.
Is that all? I did probably 5 or 6. I don't believe I got a kill. I don't believe I lasted longer than 2 minutes.
You just solo queuing,
Uh,
or are you queuing up with a
yeah, I
randos?
was doing the quads.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely. I played a couple rounds on launch day, Thursday when it dropped, and it's different than the multiplayer. Obviously, the armor system for one thing. Also, I've been playing a lot of hardcore mode in Call of
Yeah.
Duty, grinding out some weapon camos and whatnot. So the time to kill is very different in Warzone, and once you have to actually track enemies longer than just getting a couple shots off, like in hardcore, very different, very different. So I think that's kind of where that's like my main issue so far.
It's so much faster too. Like it feel like it's. I'm assuming it's on like the Modern Warfare settings instead, even though it's in Black Ops 6, because the movement and like climbing over stuff and everything, it feels like it used to, not what we got with the new update.
Yeah, I would imagine the base code is still the old Warzone, which would be the Modern Warfare one. Yeah, they just add in Omni movement to it because it does feel and even visually look different.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I haven't played enough to really, I haven't been a Warzone person. I haven't been a battle royale person really, so I don't know if this will latch. I think I'll get you in a couple games. We'll have some fun with that, but beyond that, who knows? We'll see. But I am enjoying the Black Ops multiplayer grind. I prestiged for the first one. I have a shit ton of 2 XP bonuses, also thanks to the Battle Pass now that the season 1 has officially started. So I'm like level 40 or getting close to level 40 on my first prestige. So I'm like, I'm
Damn.
deep in. I'm deep in it. But I've been like the last 7 hours have been easily all 2 XP token you earned, right? Like that's I've have so many of these little 2 XP coins. So like it definitely has helped boost that, of course. Like, yeah, I put in a lot of time.
That's wild. I was like, I think I got to like 50 today. I was like, I'm gonna get close to Kyle. No, he's at 40 again. He's about to prestige a second time. There's
I could
just
probably get my second prestige.
gross. There's just so much going on right now. Like trying to balance duty, Dragon Age. I got 2 weeks of Dancing with the Stars left. I got Holiday Baking Championship on Monday nights. I got Arcane Season 2 is now started and out. I got I'm trying to get through Love, Death, and Robots before December when Secret Level comes out. So like I did
Hmm.
so many spinning plates, and I just can't keep them all up and going.
Yeah, that's fair. No, I've just been doing Dragon Age and Call of Duty. That's really all I've been doing. It's been pretty simple in that regard.
It's a good time though.
Oh, and wrestling. But I've just been more catching up post Monday night and SmackDown. on their respective nights.
Are you still excited for Raw going to Netflix after this past weekend?
Oh, who cares if they fuck up the first one?
What? Okay,
Like
the
that's just the
first one,
first one. Yeah, it's Netflix though. Like
but imagine WrestleMania comes on this year, and you can't watch half of it because it's buffering, like the Tyson fight was.
it
People
won't.
would.
But that's months from now.
I
That's the thing is like the first one. Yeah, they fucked it up. They're gonna figure it out. That's that's okay. Now if the next, like it's more of like the next one and the one after that. I can't imagine Netflix is not gonna have this figured out by the time Raw goes to Netflix in January. That's a long time from now. So, I mean, 2 months,
2 months.
one ish, just a little over a month. No, I think it'll be fine. So, I didn't even watch this fight.
Same. I saw the memes about the cheeks.
It's, I mean, it was such a money grab. Good for them. Hey, they got money. No one got hurt. Congrats.
When the millionaires gotta hustle, making the rest of us look bad.
Crazy.
Going on. As mentioned, we're on episode 44. It's been a week. It's been a week for Xbox. There's been not major news, but pretty much something daily. I even tweeted out a list. Like they had non-stop events. We got stuff for South of Midnight this week. We got Call of Duty Season 1 dropping. We got the Warcraft 30th Direct. But the most important thing that Xbox brought to us this week, Kyle, and it's a super important question that I need to ask. Are you an Xbox?
What day you asked me that?
Everyone's an Xbox now, Kyle.
This is an Xbox.
This is an Xbox. Yeah,
This is an Xbox.
they started,
This
which
this is an Xbox.
that what was that? Is that Game Fuel? What was that?
No, it's just a LaCroix. This
Oh,
is an Xbox.
that
One
is.
day.
This is an Xbox, adult Xbox. Yeah, they started a new marketing thing. Oh boy, what's that? Is actually an Xbox, but does it have Game Pass on
Did I write that right?
it? Yeah, it's up. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's an Xbox.
Oh, wait. This is dumb. What are we doing? What am I
dumb.
doing?
It's dumb. That arguably a marketing thing they should have done a while back. This started, I believe, Wednesday. Kind of re-nailing down points they've been telling us all year, and people are still neglecting to acknowledge. New Xbox campaign. This is an Xbox from Xbox Wire. Invites people to play with Xbox across multiple devices and screens. It showcases the evolution of Xbox as a platform that extends across devices, bold, iconic, fun visuals, and a lighthearted tone. Launch day campaign will come to life in a variety of ways. New trailer, advertising stuff. I've seen stuff on the streets, bus decals, weird collaboration with IHOP of all things, and a couple mixed reviews, mixed ideas on it. It feels like something that we should have had at the beginning of the year when the messaging was starting to change, and now we're just kind of getting it months later. I've seen people upset that it still kind of is dancing the line between both sides of the fan bases they're trying to make happy and still not really getting a message across. It's just a weird place. I liked seeing it. This was the main thing all year. Their messaging, like, I wish we would have had this. I wish they would have been more upfront with this. But throwing it in at the end of the year after sort of the controversy happened and after the fan base has been eating themselves alive, it feels almost too little too late now. Outside of like, hey, we got some fun merch to get when we got a huge social presence with memes. Which, like, do we need that right now?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like this is a marketing campaign, and I think that's it. I hear what you're saying with the feeling like it's too late in terms of online discourse, but like this is just like they figured out their official language that they wanted to use, and they got everything lined up, closing the Activision Blizzard deal, of course, and what that was like also kind of dealing with the idea that Microsoft is doing some monopolistic thing, right, with acquiring all these studios and whatnot. They couldn't just also at the same time hit hard, hey, we're everywhere. we're, we're buying all these studios, hey, that's unfair practices, we're also putting our thing everywhere. Like those kind of can add up, and I could see how they would delay getting their full marketing ramp up to getting this lawsuit dealt with, right? That's in the past. Now they're moving on. Now this is it. Like this is the path forward going on with Xbox. No new console, as we just had one hit the market with the PlayStation Pro.
Yep.
PlayStation 5 Pro, but no new one. But this is what Xbox is doing. It's everywhere. We want to make sure that you can access the Xbox platform on your phone, on your TV, on a Meta Quest headset through the cloud, if that's how you play. On our two console offerings for right now, we don't know what the next edition will be, but guess what? It's also on a laptop, on a PC. Like it's on the TV, like in Samsung TVs, just there. They're just making that clear, and I'm like, that's cool for me. I love that. I think some of the best parts of Xbox is the platform and the benefits of being on the platform, being able to play Age of Empires 4 on my PC, and then like let me try it on controller, and put it on my Series S inside the house. Like that's cool, and the save is there. It's the same thing, and that just works across not just Xbox games, but any third-party game that partners with them to get the title to be, what is it called, Xbox Play Anywhere. Like that's like you do, like the new Death Stranding is a Play Anywhere title, so it means I could play it on my PC as a PC game, and then I could load it up on my Xbox. It's dual entitlement. It's just, and that's just baked in there along with the cloud services and all that. And I think this just makes sense. This is like has been so clear looking back now where what they've been doing. They've had so many screw ups though, and just putting their foot in their mouth and things getting exposed and twisted. And again, they're doing something that's different. Right here, I mean, there's two consoles out of when I'm looking at the Xbox Wire article. Their whole marketing campaign where it says this is an Xbox, it has a laptop, a handheld, a cat box, a TV, and then there's 5 other ones. So out of the 10 little options, only 2 of them are consoles, and people complain about the Series S holding back development. So like we see one console going forward. I get like, hey, the console doesn't matter as much, but I think when Sarah Bond and when Phil Spencer tell us and say we're going to have hardware, the console matters for us. That is a cornerstone. I don't know if that's the exact words they use, so I might be putting that in their mouth. But they keep saying like we're gonna have a console, so hey, that's cool. Why are we worried about them not having a console? Like they just have multiple avenues to get in. So until we don't have a console that's great and solid, I don't, where we got to take them at their word, and I think that's fine.
Yeah, it's again, this whole situation I don't feel would be as up in flames as criticized online if PlayStation was doing similar stuff at the same time. And I've said that before, but it's Xbox.
Well, they're busy doing nothing.
People are fine with that over there. That's what I'm saying. Like if PlayStation was doing similar stuff, I feel like the conversation around this would be a much more mute. But now it's being a one-sided thing. It's that vocal fanboy discussion online of people screaming aimlessly into black holes of like-minded people. Of I still need to defend this console I've put time into. I still need to defend this brand that has no idea I exist. When, like you said, it's cool. You get to play games in other places. Like, there's literally nothing bad about that. And the same people that are fighting about that, I feel, are also on the side of, like, oh, the industry layoffs and stuff. Like, you get the industry layoffs when we don't have growth. You get the industry layoffs when the industry is not moving forward in a positive direction. And putting games in more places like this is a beginning step in that. yeah, there's still top head CEOs taking more money than they probably should, but like in a forward facing aspect, yeah, they want to get games everywhere. In the Rolling Stone article they did separate with Phil Spencer a day after, he straight up says biggest growth in Xbox players is on PC and cloud. Console space isn't growing across all of them. Love those customers, but in terms of continuing to expand and grow Xbox, it's about PC, it's about cloud, and it's about making your games available in more places. You can't continue to have that many studios, that many team members, that many different moving parts under your umbrella without trying to get the most eyes, players, and player base numbers everywhere you can. So yeah, if you're gonna market your Fire Stick or your VR console as an Xbox, like cool. In the end, those are the numbers they're looking at. Those player numbers are the ones they're looking at. The sales across all those platforms are what they're looking at. In the end, cool. They said we're getting new consoles. We're getting other devices, the handheld, which the way he said, I'm shocked this isn't coming next year. Um, they're still giving you the option. They're not taking the Xbox console away. As of yet, plans change. We see that all the time. But as of now, hey, you're getting another one. You're getting a handheld. We're not throwing you to the wolves and fighting for yourself. Like, there's still going to be a platform. They're still doing updates on the console side. Dashboard updates, the friends list update they just did. They're still putting resources into that to this day. So to think that it's just going to up and disappear is wild to me.
Yeah, no, I think we're 2 generations away from that. If anything, this next one will be like a pretty big angle into having. I mean, already like the Xbox One generation, like it's the same home screen as the Series X. You know, like they are outside of how they run games, they're identical. Like they already run the same software. So we're going to see that across all the platforms. So then what's going to happen is they're just going to have an Xbox quote branded PC that's going to be a high end console, but you're going to basically have a graphics card in there and it's going to be your high end thing. And then just a plug and play, a very simple device that doesn't need to output crazy things, but it can. I mean, Apple TVs are small and they are running games pretty well. They just, Apple just needs to commit. But like Xbox can totally, their next generation of console, have a Series S style box that maybe runs a little better. I don't know. I think the Series S is great. I would love them to keep their console, like a console like that, small, compact, diskless. There you go. And then a higher end console that does all the fancy bells and whistles. I think that's what they should be doing there. But yeah, I think we're 2 generations away from them even getting close to abandoning the Xbox console as a thing.
Do you think we get to a point where whether instead of a console is just like a Fire Stick type thing, where both Sony and PlayStation are doing that, or you always do you like on Sony's side of this? Do you think they stick with doing consoles forever because they are more hardware focused and want
I think
that?
the way that they've like where they're at right now, they would be the last console out, you know, like PlayStation 8 and 9, but Xbox is now just all PC, so you don't refer to like the Xbox generation anymore, right? It's already close to being gone anyways, right? um but yeah, I think no matter what, PlayStation probably will be the last one whenever it ends. And then Nintendo will be Nintendo.
Nintendo, Nintendo's gonna release like a wooden box with a LCD screen
Yeah.
and be like, "Here you go, guys, new console, next gen."
Yeah, but the thing is, we do know like hardware, like companies lose money on it at the beginning, especially like they just eat a lot of the upfront costs just to eventually then, just to get it out, right? And that's becoming harder and harder to do. I was said in like a Phil Spencer interview earlier this year or something.
Yeah,
I mean, that's true for all platforms. Then it's not just true for one side. So, I mean, you have to keep updating and investing billions of dollars and time into new hardware every year, or you just rely on a market that's already doing it. Like I could see that becoming like the PC market just being that, and like maybe they outsource it. I don't know. That's probably less likely, but
Well, I mean, that's not even that's always been an issue with losing money on consoles. I remember back when Xbox One launched. I feel like a year after there was articles coming out that that's when the 360 just broke even on consoles, and like 360 was a long generation, and that was back then. And technology and the stuff to make these are only getting more expensive. So yeah, from a logical standpoint, if you're not getting physical player base, how much are you willing to continue to funnel in and lose continuously by doing these? When there is cheaper options with a Series S, there's cheaper options with a streaming stick, there's cheaper options with you already have a phone, you don't need anything. Like the
yeah, no, because like I mean, before it feels like games where you bought a console, and that's kind of what also was the reason to buy games was, or you bought the consoles, you could play the games, and in the long run, that's what made the console their money back for like Microsoft, right? Did I say that right?
yeah,
But now it's different because you can get your money in different avenues. You don't need to funnel people directly into your brand. In fact, people just kind of want to stay with what they're already comfortable with or have a ton of options we're seeing. So I think that PC growth is so it's trending in such a big way up. It just makes sense that both platforms and all platforms are putting their stuff everywhere. Not you, Nintendo.
not Nintendo. The day Nintendo does, I will. The world's on fire. That's wild.
This is Mario Galaxy 2, Unreal 5, Steam day one.
God,
Be crazy.
there was some
No, I
other.
doubt that.
Who knows? There was some other things from the interviews he did. Um, I mentioned before. I'm trying to find it again specifically, but he mentioned the handheld, which I feel we both kind of was hoping would be next year, but that sounds like it's further away even than that. Um,
Which I do think is okay. I the way what kind of what he said, being he keeps reiterating that he wants it to be able to play games locally and figure that out. Figure out a great UI. The the mobile UI right now works pretty solidly when you go into the cloud and it uses the little compact mode. Like it works great for what it is, and if you can figure out a way to make that almost identical or close to identical to what it is on the oh, I felt that one. Um, if you can make that almost identical to what it is on console, like that's awesome. Figure that out and then give us a nice handheld local device that I can have my games installed onto and I can play them anywhere. Game Pass, games I buy, like that's what they're aiming for. And I think them taking their time on it, that's okay. That's fine. Figure it out. That just means to me, it's like that has to be a more feature complete device than like the PlayStation remote one. That's cool. You have a device that can play your games with the controller haptics. That's awesome. But I have to remote play only. Like I want my games to be. I want it to be a full portable, right? I think that's just lacking in that. So this Xbox handheld, take your time. 2026, yeah, it's fine, but it has to be the full Steam Deck Xbox, whatever it is.
yeah, I feel like that's why they are taking extra time on it because it is, in any sense of the word, their first foray into handhelds. Where PlayStation has their history with Vita, they have the PSP. Like, this is Xbox's first step, and for them to continue the messaging of gaming anywhere, games on the go type thing, that needs to land without any sort of hiccups. Like, you want that to be the most solid launch to show A, that you're invested in it to people from the outside, and B, just to show that it is a viable option. And yeah, doing the local game streaming, whatever it does turn out to be, that alone I feel would be not necessarily a needle mover, but persuade people in investing over there as a more stable option. there's Mystic on YouTube, big PlayStation guy, constant PlayStation videos for years, like a decade PlayStation. He just did a video a couple months back of using the portal just like out and about, and he's like in New York, major city, should be no issues, and even there it's very spotty, hit or miss. Like certain types of games are almost unplayable just from reaction timing you need, just from the latency. So having the Xbox's version of that, not having that as a factor and being a hey, this is the go-to thing for handheld, would do wonders for them. And we could say it's an Xbox.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Darn.
Darn.
Pardon me. Sorry about that. What was I saying? Oh, there it is. You couldn't hear me, so you wouldn't know.
No.
I don't think the Xbox is even their handheld would even be competing with what Sony has done so far. That's just a remote play device. I could do that with my phone. Surprise! I could do that. I don't need this device at all. It's a luxury item, but it's competing with a Steam Deck fully and the Lenovo Go, whatever that one is called. Like those ones being able to have Steam and all that integration within it, and then you could have Game Pass on it. Like that's what makes those devices, I think, what has made those devices hit so hard, and like what is the appeal of them. And I think that's kind of what Phil Spencer has hinted at with what he wants within and what he envisions within an Xbox handheld. So yeah, I think we need that. And my question is, do you think we have it's an open software where where you are able to sign into Steam and or have it be a Windows device essentially, or is it locked down? It's like I don't know, or is it an option that you can open it up and do what you want? They don't care, but like you turn it on, it's Xbox branded, like a home screen, all nice. Flip a switch, press a button inside the thing. You turn on Windows mode and you can do whatever you want, and then download Steam on it. And that's just like, no, you can do this.
That, I mean, I would hope. In the Steam side of things, I guess I really don't have a say in it one way or another because it's not a platform I've ever used. Like, PC for me is League and WoW. I have Baldur's Gate 3 on Steam, and that's about it. Like, that for me personally doesn't do anything. Like I've said before, it opens up the weird Pandora's box of, hey, you got all these Sony games over here now. You got God of War through Steam on Xbox. Like, that puts them in a unique place, I feel, where if they are going third party and they're taking the time to port stuff like that, that kind of takes a step out of it because you just get the stuff third party through Steam in a way. So I'd be curious to see how that actually lays out, if there are different rules put in place, if at that point in time, 2 years from now, Sony is still being kind of hard headed and they put kind of like blockers on Steam, like you can only play this on PC or on Steam Deck type thing. Like that opens up a weird corridor of questions and more uncertainties, which again could be why it's taking longer time to get this up and going, figuring out the logistics on the back end.
Yeah, because if it's just a Windows based device and for all intents and purposes, if it could run Windows, it's a PC, right? So there's no reason it couldn't run something or be tricked into it. I mean, they're already doing it right now. So yeah, no, I think ultimately, I think that's like one of the more fascinating aspects of an Xbox handheld is that question of, will we have any Steam integration? Will it just be, in a more official manner, right? You can link your Steam account and you can play your Steam games on it through it. Like that'd be cool. Maybe that's probably what is going to end up happening in a way. You just link your accounts up, but either way, we'll see.
I would.
We won't. We think they tease it this June, or is that?
God, I don't even know. The June showcase is going to be so weird. They have so much to announce. They have so much they have announced and updates and stuff. Like balancing that and continuously being, hey, this is what we're doing now. This is the new Xbox. This is how we're approaching things. Like, I don't know, but I had that same kind of worry this year going in. I was like, oh, the messaging's gonna be weird. People are gonna be more worried about platforms and stuff, which thankfully wasn't the case because they killed it. Like, absolutely great showcase. So I don't know. I don't see them teasing it. I could see them Game Awards next year. Hey, here's a reveal type thing. If it is going to be
Hmm.
2026, get it out. Give us the
Well,
details, Phil Spencer.
I'm excited. It'd be fun. New hardware.
I with the Steam thing, one last thing, I would almost be curious if there are issues they've been having with Apple and stuff and having Xbox App Store and revenue off of there. I almost wonder if that would be a case having Steam on an Xbox handheld too. Like how the revenue would work there, or if at that point, hey, you buy X game through Steam or Xbox Game Store, you get it available on Steam or the other. If that is kind of the open route they go. It's just messy
Yeah,
to
I
me. I don't
guess.
understand the logistics.
Yeah, because it would just have to be an open platform, which is what they're fighting for. So yeah, I would imagine in that case they would be the Apple to what Apple is to them right now,
Mm-hmm.
right? They would be that to Steam. So I'd imagine they'd be a little more open with it. I mean, if you got Steam running natively on an Xbox handheld, like in a partnership, that is game changing. Like that's pretty crazy. If you get Steam Deck to officially host Game Pass PC games, or even just Game Pass in general, like that that moves and that opens up a ton. Like that's a really cool thing. So I don't know where I was going with that.
It's cool.
Just a thought.
Yeah. As I
It
mentioned
could be
that
an Xbox.
it could be an Xbox. We could be an X. This podcast is an Xbox still. Uh, as mentioned, they had way more this week going on. Xbox also, we got a reveal for um a valid release date February 18th with pre-order details. Play 5 days early if you want the special
That's
edition. That's what
I don't like that anymore. I don't like it.
the early access.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
indifferent.
what do you get with it?
You get to play it early. You
Is
get
that
to
it
talk
though?
about it
Two sets
early.
of premium skins. Wow.
Digital art
So
book,
who cares?
steelbook. I love me a good steelbook, but I am
But that you don't get that in that.
physical
It's all
collection.
digital.
I know.
So that's all you get. So see, okay. I'm really against this one. Because here's the thing. This is what Xbox is doing with their games, which I think is okay in the general scope. Having it drops in Game Pass, you get the premium edition, you get a battle pass, you get the DLC pack like with Starfield. Okay, that's like the same price. You also get to play 5 days early. But this is just trending and showing me like, oh, this is not going to be great long term. Every Xbox game is going to be able to have a premium edition that doesn't actually offer a ton in the grand scheme. The art book is on an Xbox like I can't download that soundtrack to my phone. Like can't take the book, like it's just there. It's cool to look at because if it's the same one as Starfield, like I look through that, it's like all right, whatever. But you just get two skins and that's it on this one. It's not even like the expansion pass with it. Like that's the reason I bought the Starfield one because $30 for an expansion pack. All right, 1,000 credits. That made sense. I thought that was fine, and I got to play it 5 days early. But yeah, I just think, all right, they're just lessening the value of this, and now we're gonna have every Xbox game have this play 5 days early without getting much in return. So
I mean, they do have
I'm,
the
I'm
cheaper upgrade if you have the Game Pass option, like what they did with Starfield. That is an option.
yeah, but it was $30 for Starfield. What was
This is $25.99, $24.99.
yeah, I don't just for 2 skins.
And the 5-day access. All digital extra content, including up to 5 days early access and digital bonuses.
Yeah, see that? That's like half of what you get is 5 days early access. That's not worth it. That's silly. You're not getting enough. You need to get more in return. You're just letting people play early now. How we get to see spoilers.
Spoil. People get to spoil everything early. No, it feels. I said I'm indifferent, but it feels like they're. It's like the weird like you're becoming a teenager transition stage in how we handle pre-orders digitally only now instead of back when 5 years ago Avowed would have came out and it has a $200 plus physical thing with a statue and all this. Like
Oh, this statue would look so cool.
all of the cover, dope.
Of the cover, that'd be
Yeah.
a dope ass statue. Fuck.
But yeah, now it's like trying to find out how that works in a digital only mindset where it's the new normal now and it's what works, what do people actually want from this, what do especially from a single player game where you would imagine if this was getting DLC like Indiana Jones, it would be announced already and be a part of the premium editions. But as of now, it's just as is. So, like, okay, like I said, 5 days early, and that's about it. No DLC, no expansions, no nothing. Which
Is sorry, is Indie also having a thingy?
like 5 days early access?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Looking it up. Or if continue on here with Obsidian, if they are going to treat like Outer Wild or Outer Worlds, if the DLC is just going to be free updates, I don't know. But they did pay for Outer Worlds, so I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Yeah, I liked it when it was tied to like getting the DLC. I mean, it was only like that for one. I guess it was only Starfield, but I like that. That makes a lot of sense to me. I'm down for that. I don't like it being basically just pay more, pay us, and you can play early. I don't like it, but it is what it is.
Kyle doesn't want to give you extra money.
No, I just want people's money to be more valued.
He's fighting the honest fight. As well as Avowed stuff this week. We also got, I don't know if you had time to watch, but we got a documentary for South of Midnight, which was absolutely fantastic. If you are at all interested in this, check it out. It is only half an hour, kind of dives in more on the folk tales that the stories are pulled from, how they tackled bringing it's based out of lore and fables and stuff, but nothing that's really like written in stone. Like it's all mostly word of mouth and how they got around to getting that information, voice actor stuff, musical scores, like all the behind the scenes nitty gritty stuff. If you're in documentaries for games and learning more about them, a must watch. And I am just as excited for this game as I was before. This has been since 2 years ago when they first revealed it. I've been all in. I'm excited for what Compulsion does next. Oh, We Happy Few didn't quite hit for me, which was their last thing, but Contrast, which I played at the beginning of the year, their first title, great. Excited for the weird stuff. I very much put Compulsion in kind of a Double Fine window of they're kind of the people you keep in the side rooms doing weird shit that other studios otherwise wouldn't want to touch. More passion projects, more artsy projects. So I'm excited.
Yeah, no, this game just continues to look really cool, and everything they show of it just kind of reinforces it, and I just get more and more hype for it. This documentary was great, like you said. I loved just how they like went and got people that know what the fuck is up for what they want to do, right? They are like, we're from Montreal. We don't know the South. So we had to bring in people that knew the lore and the history of the area because we want to be authentic and respect it and be true to it. And that's just I love that. Like it's so cool just to know there's authenticity within that. I think it's felt with it's just in the art is so cool. So very excited for this one. This feels like it's taking the the spot next year of what Hellblade kind of filled, being a little smaller, a little more artsy in a way, right? Like I don't think this is going to be a really deep combat action game. I think it's going to be probably a little more shallower, and not in a negative way, but a little more straightforward is probably a better way of saying that
Yeah.
with its combat. So I'm fine with that. I find to just get lost, just be in a world for what I think they said it was about 12 to 15 hours ish. I think I've gathered from the previews people have been doing. That's perfect. That's a perfect length to get lost in a world that is very stylized and realized and just crafted. Like that's awesome. So I can't wait to play this.
Yeah, it fits this. Phil started doing all the acquisitions years ago, he did an interview where obviously people have brought it up, but like hitting a title every quarter of the year is what they want to achieve. But also with the backing of Game Pass, it allows them to do more unique things like this. Where, like you said, I'm happy this is a 12-hour thing. I'm happy this is be a smaller scale, not a 40-hour plus in depth forced upon you sort of experience. And like we said last week, like there's space for these games to exist still and still succeed in their own right without every title having to be multi-million unit sale game of the year contender thing. Like there's space for these smaller things. Not that they're any less of a project, but deserve to be respected and enjoyed in their own right.
Yeah, no, I think it's having a again knowing your scope and meeting your scope fully and having it be smaller and nailing that just as difficult as nailing a bigger scope, right? Like, yeah. So I'm excited. I like this little trend of games being a little more smaller and not needing to be everything. Because God, there was a time games had to be everything.
A little bit
I'm
of
feeling
survival aaspects thrown in there, a little bit of world base building in there.
RPG, a little bit of character creation, a little bit of dialogue choice. The open world formula, tower unlocking. Thanks, Ubisoft.
It just becomes a mess. Which I'm
I
happy
did
it's
want to
changing.
say, Indiana Jones. The game does have a premium upgrade for $35. You get three-day early access, but you get the Order of the Giants DLC, story DLC. So you do get DLC with it. You get a digital art book, and then you get the Temple of Doom outfit from the movie Temple of Doom. So with this one, you get DLC with it. So it's kind of all over the place with what these premium editions are going to give you. That's why I don't like the Avowed one. I think the Avowed one feels weird. It just feels like you're paying for early access. This one,
But you get one more skin.
hey, I might as well. I like the game. Well, I guess I wouldn't pay $35 for the DLC. Honestly, that's probably overpriced. We'll see.
God, wild.
But anyways, yeah. Just wanted to talk about that.
I wonder if that's almost up to like not an Xbox thing specifically, but teams. Like if that was a strictly Bethesda choice, and that Avowed strictly was an Obsidian choice, and they just kind of let them have what they thought was right instead of coming in and forcing it, being just
Yeah, what I
so
imagine
drastically
is
different.
Xbox has like options. It's like choose your path, choose your menu. Do you want to come out in spring? This much, whatever. And one of the options being Game Pass day one. Are we going to do DLC? Do you want to package that in? Because like you can see, they all follow a similar template. It's just different.
Yeah.
I'd imagine it's up to the studio with Xbox's input.
Be interesting to see what else comes out. Like when Gears E-Day comes out, are you paying early access for that? Which that is a different conversation being multiplayer too. Like, do you give people that early edge?
Campaign
Do you
early access.
give just campaign, yeah.
Yeah, they could just do campaign if that's a big worry. But I really don't think. Well, Call of Duty was day and date everything, and I think maybe that's just what they'll do as well for any multiplayer sweet game, the game that has some multiplayer in it. Because even with like the next Halo, right? If they did it with COD, like everything at once, why not just everything at once again for everything else?
Next Halo, you get 3-day early access on PS6 only.
It's a PlayStation exclusive, the most powerful console.
Last Xbox thing I want to touch on here because near and dear to my heart, we had Warcraft 30th anniversary this week live stream. Very mixed feelings on this. A lot of the stuff has me questioning why we even did this live stream when some of it's kind of good, but a lot of it's fixing old fires from previous years. Warcraft Rumble, their sort of Clash Royale. What's the mobile? Yeah, Clash Royale, I think. Their sort of take
Something.
on that is coming to PC, which cool. It just celebrated its 1 year on mobile.
I
Hearthstone.
like that for a little bit. It's a fun one.
Yeah, I checked it out. They advertised it on PC, being as like, hey, you're queuing for a dungeon in WoW, pull it up on second monitor, play a game in between, which I was like smart. At that point, integrate it into the game.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's a very fun.
Okay, we are back. I am so sorry about that. I had full on internet crash at my house. I'm assuming I'm being hit by a blizzard outside, but I'm not going to look at it and blame it on that. First for everything. For just under 50 episodes in for our first like massive technical hiccup.
Not bad.
Not bad. I'll take it. Okay. Where was I? We were talking Warcraft. I was talking fun stuff. Um okay, yeah, one of the bigger things from the Warcraft 30th this week. Last year or the year before, we got a remaster for Warcraft 3 and 3 only, which is the old real-time strategy, what Warcraft started as. Hit with a lot of complaints back then, people blaming them of AI upscaling and not doing the actual work. Um, Units not being up-res properly, just a very bare bones update for that project. So they announced they're now doing Warcraft 1 and 2 as well in a bundle, while doing a huge 2.0 update for Warcraft 3, fixing all the complaints people had before. Just looks very good for what it is. I mean, being 30-year-old thing to bring back. Um, Happy to have it. I'm definitely. Oh my god, is that 1 or 2?
Warcraft 3.
That's wild. That's cool. Yeah, so they're fixing the update they did for that with 2.0 update. That's out now. It came out the day this 30th anniversary live stream happened. So if you had previously purchased the remaster before, check it out. It's updated, should be fixed. Yeah, Warcraft 1 and 2 are bundled in there as well now. So super cool to see. I definitely want to check those out in the coming year because I'm such a World of Warcraft fanboy, but never have touched the actual original Warcrafts. So I'm excited to jump into those. Uh, Bunch
For
of normal
Windows 98.
Windows 98. God, that's wild. Uh,
So is
Bunch of
StarCraft just not for you?
I never
Because
played
like the
StarCraft
original
either.
StarCraft, they've just gone up.
Yeah, I've
Or
never
Game
played
Pass.
StarCraft either.
PC.
RTSs in general, Command and Conquer were the only ones I really played. But even that was like on 360. So
Huh. That makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. WoW Classic, obviously going to the next expansion, Mists of Pandaria. Everyone saw that coming. Um, One of the largest requested features they've ever had. They announced with the next expansion, Midnight will be coming with player housing, which everyone collectively lost their shit over because it's been memed to death. Final Fantasy's done a great job on it, become kind of the new thing for the social side of the game. The only thing for me, it now kind of questions what they're doing with Warcraft. Last time we talked about it, they said that these next 3 expansions were going to set up the next 20 years, which a lot of people took as like resets or WoW 2.0 type thing. But if they're doing a feature like this at the end of its life, that kind of makes me question that's not exactly what they meant, and it's just going to continue on as is. So I'll be curious to see what that means going forward.
I would think that would look like just not updating this anymore and having a new world entirely. So like all this would be here, right?
Yeah.
But it's not just turn it off and turn on the new one and leave it all behind. So, but man, it's the same thing Destiny needed to do and needs to do is just you need to start new. You need a fresh start at some point if
It's,
you want to keep growing. Otherwise, you're just slowly going to bleed off your audience. You're not, and you're only going to grab people like me who will come back,
mhm.
but I don't stay the full time anymore. Like, but you just need something new.
So they're kind
Ugh.
of doing that, which they also added onto this. Like they have Classic, which is the game how it was. They announced they're doing a Classic 20th, which is just starting again from the base game and doing Classic again when they're still working on Classic. So there's going to be two different versions of Classic. Plus, they have a third version of Classic called Season of Discovery that's like the game how it was, but we added some new dungeons and quests are different, and it's like actual new content added in that was never in the original game, which that's neat. But now they're doing a third version of it. I'm like, why are we doing four different versions of Warcraft right now, splitting the player base up and where their time goes? But to each
Yep,
their
that
own.
is me. Can't be me.
Yeah. Yeah, nice little graphic of everything coming up, all to the end of next year, which is nice. Obviously, they said the expansions are coming at a faster rate, so we get the reveal for the second of the three parts next summer. So stuff to look forward to. Other than that, it's pretty much business as usual for Warcraft. Game's not going anywhere. It's making money.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. God, where do we go now? I'm thrown off by my internet getting disconnected. Um, I did throw one last thing in the chat here before we started. If you thought about it, but kind of ending off subject, we're obviously next tomorrow finally getting Game Awards nominees. End of the year is coming up. Everyone's looking at what we played this year and celebrating and reward time for what we played. But I haven't seen a lot of people talk about what they missed on playing. And there's quite a few games on my end, at least, that either A are just out of discussion for game of the year for me personally when we get to that. Like, there's just so much this year with how compared to what last year was with major hits, like I still missed out on a ton. And a lot of games I either want to get to, but they're getting in the backlogs. That's what we do here.
A little bit, huh?
Yeah.
Well, kick it off. Kick us off.
Yeah. First one, which I was actively roasted on Twitter, as I rightfully should be. Tales of Kinsera Zal is on my list. Abu Bakar rightfully tweeted at me and said it should be on my list. Who is behind the game? So I feel like that is definitely on my 2025. Silent Hill 2 remake is another one that I've been a casual Silent Hill fan. I played the tech demo thing they did at the beginning of the year on PS5. Um, my favorite Homecoming is kind of the black sheep of the series and a lot of people's least favorite, which is again a running trend for me. And that's the only one I've really played, honestly. But I know how well regarded 2 is in the community, in the fan base, and just the horror genre that I almost feel like I need to at least check it out. I don't know if I do get to it, if it would be a full playthrough. But I say that after buying Resident Evil 4 Remake last year on Black Friday and still haven't even taken the plastic off the box. Because I am an animal. Uh,
Hey,
shame. And the last one, Dragon's Dogma 2, which going into the year wasn't on my list at all. I remember renting the original, but when that game came out, it sort of had a revitalized fan base and excitement around it that it fell off hard, but it kind of brought like a hey, you should check this out. We've changed what Dragon's Dogma was and the changes they made to make it more modern. I'm at least curious. I don't know if I'm actively going to go out and buy it. I can see that being a discount purchase for me in the coming year. and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my last. Which, by
Hmm.
all accounts, I should have been there day one. I just played Remake beginning of last year. I finished it off. Um, but the new series, like this new trilogy, is being headed by the creator of Kingdom Hearts. So a lot of that DNA and the combat and all that is there. Like this should be something I was there waiting on day one, but just kind of passed me by. I wasn't hyped going in. I didn't really even think about purchasing it when it came up. So eventually I'll get to it before whatever the third trilogy title is called.
Retread.
Retread, revisit, Final Fantasy keep refinaling.
Refinalized. That's the one.
You could have that for free,
Anyways,
Squeenix.
for $10, please. Anyways, I want to echo Tales of Kanzara. It's on my list, but it's like on the. It's earned a permanent spot on the list almost. So we gotta play that since we're both. It's both a game that we both are looking at. Why we both gotta commit to it.
That'd be good for if you're looking at it too. It'd be like a review type episode.
Exactly. Yeah. If we can get through it, I gotta finish Dragon Age. Don't yell at me.
Dragon
And
Age,
then I have Persona 3. Jesus. Anyway, another one though that I do want to play is Animal Well. That just got added over to PlayStation Plus, one of those whatever tier. So I can't play it right now. I have it till July or January next year. So it's kind of like, oh, I gotta start that. I know that's in a lot of Game of the Year conversations I've so far. So it's one I want to try out at the very least. We'll see if it would keep me. Um, what was the other one I was writing? I definitely was looking at this before you asked right now. um, no, that like that's so kind of like it. I think I'm looking ahead a lot. Like so, I've
Yeah,
was kind of like Dragon Age was the big one, and then I'm still in that. So I
which
haven't
is
really
still wild to
thought
me.
about.
Like, did you expect yourself to be like you at first? We talked about it, like, oh, I'm gonna stream the beginning of Dragon Age, and now you're just fully committed. Like, did you expect that to happen?
No, not really. It's just really fun, and I think we could do a side tangent real quick about it. Like the God of War combat influences in Dragon Age are solidly there, especially with the warrior class, and it's just it's fun. It is fun to play, and I'm into the story enough with the characters where the pace of going in a loop of kind of a longer section of different missions that are mostly just talking, maybe a little combat, and then that thrown in with the loop of getting more lengthier quests that have a lot more combat, maybe some more tougher bosses thrown in. That loop has been really good so far. It's hit me in a good moment. Um, Definitely not a perfect game. There's some pacing issues. You revisit a lot of the same areas, but like I did not think I'd be this into it, but I am very much enjoying my time with Dragon Age. It's really fun. I can't wait to beat it though. I am kind of getting a little fatigued on it. Like people were at the 40, 50 hour mark on review, but that they didn't do everything. And so far I have done everything that it has allowed me. I'm at a spot right now where I have a choice. I commit to doing everything, right? All the companion quests and all the faction stuff, or that slowly starts to be left behind. But we'll see. So far, it's fun to play. I rolled a mage, but I only put in an hour to it. Got through the tutorial section. So, anyways, didn't think I'd be that deep into a Dragon Age this year.
Which that's too. That and Persona were kind of surprise things for you.
Yeah. Speaking of games, I want to play Metaphor ReFantagio. My like I don't know when I will play it. It'll be a long time from now because I want to still be a Persona. I want to see them. I want to be able to see the transition, the growth from the game to game. I'm not going to play Persona 4 or 5 before Metaphor. I think I'm just going to go straight to Metaphor. But that will be after Persona 3 Reload, and that will take some time.
Yeah, it's good. It's been this year in general, like with the podcast, with the site, and kind of branching out and doing other stuff. I just pulled up. I've been keeping the list on Twitter with the amount of stuff that I have missed. I've still a modest 25 games, which I feel was a lot, but then I saw some guy the other day post like his 88th of the year completed, and I was like, holy
That's
shit.
crazy.
Um, but it's been good, like diversifying for the sake of content, for the sake of just trying to knock out backlog stuff. Like getting Inscription done this year is something I didn't think would happen. Finally sitting down for The Last of Us for conflicted views on that. Revisiting old stuff like SteamWorld Dig, which I loved the second one when that came out. Never played the first one, so like that skipped me. There's been a
Hmm.
weird kind of year of different how far the genres and just different titles I've played, and the roller coaster of serious to casual to big epic things to DLC stuff I've jumped into this year. It's been a wild year.
Oh yeah, I agree. I guess yeah, playing 2 games I never would not have thought I'd be playing. So, thank you Game Pass as well. That's fun.
Yeah,
Deep in the Call of Duty grind as well.
just yeah, too bad. It's like the multiplayer stuff. Like I tweeted that the other day. Like I've neglected Sea of Thieves for 4 months now, probably. Which that was like my usual daily go to, and now it's just like I'll see you when I see you. I guess.
That's crazy. Yeah, that was your daily thing.
Yeah. What Game
Wow, I went to
Pass?
PlayStation and you just said I hate it now.
Yeah. I don't have time for you anymore. You turned your back on me.
You went to the other platform. Bleh. You're now my Xbox.
But yeah.
Anyways,
It'll be interesting though when we do get to Game of the Year stuff because I've started writing out like a mine for the site, but like I honestly most of my Game of the Year stuff this year isn't going to be games that came out this year, which
yeah,
blasphemy, but like it's more about what you actually experienced and hey, this game that came out a year or two ago that you finally got time to doesn't mean it matters any less. For me personally, like these things were my 2024.
yeah.
So
No, we agree on that. It's about what your game of the year is that year, and like I said, if you got really into Pac-Man and that did something for you, it could be your game of the year. That's fine. I just you got to have a reason to back it up to a degree. But yeah,
that'd
yeah, we'll see what comes next with the games
be good.
coming this week. Game Pass Flight Simulator 2024 edition comes out. I'm gonna get a job in the skies.
Are you
I'm
jumping
so
into it?
excited. 100% I'm jumping into it. I have it pre-installed. I've downloaded it. I am very much looking forward to going into Flight Simulator, getting some jobs, figuring out, just seeing what that is. Again, I've talked about it before, I think, but
Mhm.
I just want an objective to why am I flying the plane other than point to get from point A to B? I don't care about that. Give me like some objectives other than like fly plane well, turn better. It's shut up. It wasn't a sharp turn. I don't care. Just give me the damn A rating already. But yeah, yeah, I'm excited to see what that is. So I will be playing that. That's not something I expect to get lost into at all, but comes out Tuesday, so you can try it if you got Game Pass.
There you go.
Come stop forest fires in California
In spirit.
in the game digitally, not even in
Digitally.
spirit.
That's spoilers for next week's episode. We'll be getting Kyle's impressions of the Flight Simulator. I'll be jumping into Stalker because that's also out this week finally on the
Oh
20th.
shit!
So
Why did they do that to us? They can't
right,
put 2 Game of the Year right there.
2 Game of the Year with Dragon Age still there and Indiana Jones right around the corner. So
It's crazy.
that's crazy. We'll
By the
have
time I finish Dragon Age, there's already so much.
that's the backlogs, baby. It's all about the backlogs. With that, we'll call it there. Spoilers for next week, what we'll be talking about, plus Game of the Year, actual nominees tomorrow, which I'm sure will go over swimmingly. already controversy because God forbid DLC gets put in the list. Shadow of the Erdtree don't deserve it, I guess. I don't know. People going to be mad to be mad. We'll be back, same place, same time next week Sunday. Till then, happy gaming. Try and keep up with the titles. Don't drown in ever-ending thing of games. You just what was that for?
Cut it off.
Well, those scissors and Xbox cake. Bye.
Xbox. I'm done.